So with all that success and attention, of course there would be some hiccups along the way, and of course there would be some naysayers, some critics, some hashtag haters. People started to rise up little by little, voicing their concerns about MrBeast as an employer, a role model, and even just as a person. Here's a non-exhaustive list, starting pretty much back to the beginnings of the channel. Here, we have Ava Chris saying Asians are small, and Ava Chris saying everybody said Asians are small.
Because it's wet and yeah. And everybody thought Asians were small.
Then in 2018, there were some allegations of homophobia levied against Jimmy himself.
I don't know what to do. Okay, fat. Yes. Shut the f up, you stupid fat. Fat. Ooh, fat. You're a if you're homosexual. Ooh, aren't you impressed? JK, I'm not a
In May 2018, an article by The Atlantic exposed some old tweets from MrBeast Jimmy Donaldson where he had used homophobic slurs and made jokes at the expense of the LGBTQ+ community. When reached by phone and given the opportunity to put his comments in context, Jimmy showed no regret or remorse. He was not sorry. There's a quote from Jimmy. Quote, "I'm not offensive toward anyone. I'm not offensive in the slightest, but nothing I do. I just gotta ignore it. I don't think anyone cares about this stuff." I care about it, Jimmy, and seems like you care about it too, because y'all guess what happened next? He wanted him to run a positive article, just not mention the use of the homophobic slurs. Because he's not offensive to anyone, he said. This is in 2018, okay? It's before the philanthropy channel started, okay? When The Atlantic then turned around and informed Jimmy that that was not a possibility, that wasn't going to happen, Atlantic reaches back out and they're like, no, we're not gonna just leave that out. What are you talking about? He responds with this list of pre-answered questions and he's like, wouldn't it just be a better article if y'all just ran these instead? How old was he in 2018? 20 years old. Because he was born in 1998. Oh my God. So, I mean, was that him? I don't know. Maybe it was. Finally, he said the following quote, "I'm just a dumb kid that makes YouTube videos and I don't like doing interviews." Oh, okay. Before cutting the call short and hanging up. I can't say on camera what I think had just happened with that one, but minutes after that call ended, Jimmy did take to Twitter and delete all of his tweets that included the FA slur. Minutes after hanging up on The Atlantic, telling him, "I'm just a dumb kid. I don't like interviews." Despite the backlash, he defended himself by claiming that his intent wasn't offensive, and that led to a debate about the influence of his platform on younger audiences and if the content was even suitable for children in the first place. And then people started saying, well, he never technically targeted the audience toward children, so there was a whole debate about that. Then there was the fake money giveaway scandal of 2019, where people noticed that some of the money he was giving away was fake prop money. That was a whole scandal that ensued.
These people are not reading your description because you have a disclaimer in your description as well explaining all this,
exactly.
right?
And that was there the second the video went live. It literally said transparency. We handed people prop money, but right before we left, we actually cashed in for a real check. So it was there the entire time. So.
All right.
2021 brought a lot of scandals on the House of Beast. First, there was that whole curing blindness ordeal of 2021 where people were kind of divided on that one too. It wasn't like a full cancellation, but that was where you start getting rumblings that people are upset about this philanthropy. You know, I'll put in what they were saying.
The cure blindness are still ongoing, and those efforts are going to be hampered greatly by the misconception that blindness is cured. All right, so what happened in his video? Cataracts are pretty common. It's an issue that happens on the front of your eye. There has been cataract surgery for years. They're pioneering newer and cheaper ways to do it with the pig eye cell transplant thing that everybody's been talking about. And what it does is it takes the cloud off of your lens. They suck it off. They replace the lens. It's amazing. It's amazing the transformation it can do for your vision, but it's not a revolutionary new surgery that cures blindness. My blindness and the blindness of tens of millions of people out there happens in the back of the eye, either the macula or the retina. For me, and again, many other people out there, the cells in the back of our eyes are dying. They dead. And as amazing as MrBeast is, he can't bring anything back from the dead. So the title, 1,000 Blind People See for the First Time, is pretty misleading. I mean, it's more like 1,000 blind people who develop cataracts can see better for the first time in a long while. There's the one guy who said he's been out of work for 4 months, and it's because he just recently developed cataracts.
Yes, it does grow his brand. He benefits from this. Even if it's not financially, he obviously is going to take a huge net loss on this because of the price of these surgeries. His brand does grow from it. But I ask, is that a bad thing? For so long, people have called for positive role models to be the people that are successful and popular. And now you have someone like MrBeast, who is the biggest YouTuber, and almost all of his content is focused on improving other people's lives. There's plenty to be mad about with the core problem here, which is these people should have already had access to this treatment without MrBeast needing to make a video on it. And I'm so tired of hearing this term poverty tourism tossed around when talking about MrBeast. It just shows such a gross misunderstanding of what that even means. To try and slap that label on what MrBeast does is so off the mark.
The worms in your brain must be suffering from parasites. Like, there is so much wrong in your noodle.
Then that same year, there were some allegations that he had created a hostile working environment for employees. The New York Times had covered MrBeast and called him the 22-year-old that's set to become the next Elon Musk. They interviewed an assortment of Jimmy's former employees, which revealed that MrBeast had behaved very differently when the camera wasn't on. It's giving Ellen DeGeneres in every way. He called the employees something so bad, you can't even say it. And they couldn't even print it.
In 2021, Taylor Lorenz wrote a big, long feature where she just talked about loads of things to do with MrBeast, but she also talked to a lot of people who had worked for MrBeast. Emulating his favourite tech billionaire in that he's also treating his employees really badly, allegedly, according to a New York Times report. While he was sometimes generous, they said, his demeanor changed when the cameras weren't around. They described a difficult work environment. Matt Turner, 20, an editor for Mr. Donaldson from February 2018 to September 2019, said Mr. Donaldson had berated him almost every day. Mr. Donaldson often called him by the phrase used to insult people with mental disabilities. Mr. Turner said, leaving him in tears. What a lovely guy this is. Mr. Turner, who did not grow up with Mr. Donaldson, said that while his boss regularly featured his hometown friends in videos, he had struggled to get acknowledgement. I was not credited for anything I did. I'd ask for credit, he'd credit someone else.
Then Jimmy would be accused of running, was it the first of many? He would be accused of running a crypto scam on his fans in an allegedly illegal pump and dump scheme. Not only as somebody that was influencing and promoting this crypto, but he was listed as an owner. I mean, an investor, but that's what it means. You own part of the company. This messed up MrBeast accused of allegedly being invested in alleged crypto pump and dump scam known as Refinable. Currency was set to launch at 33 cents. However, it allegedly launched at $4, so it's supposed to come out at 33 cents. Whenever you could buy one of these Refinable tokens, it's supposed to be 33 cents. When it came out, people log into the little appy apps, and it's $4. Okay, so that was a lie. And then come to find out just a few minutes later, $9. Within moments, it looks like it says instantly, it crashes to $2. So it's supposed to be 33 cents. It comes out for $4 instead of 33 cents. Then it's $9. People are like, what in the hell is going on? Then it crashed down to $2. And some people, why'd they put their life savings in? I need receipt. Give me an invoice. It's like market manipulation allegation. So it kind of makes it look like some people might have been speculating, I'll say, that was manufactured and orchestrated, again, as a psychological manipulation tactic to make people think, oh my God, it's already up to $4. Everyone hurry up and buy it. Oh God, it's up to $9. Hurry up, hurry up. And then once it got up to $9, it was worth all this money. All of a sudden, it's now worth $2. Some people are saying, yeah, that's because I'll put someone smarter than me explaining it, but it don't look good.
So me and Logan both bought punks. You guys have probably seen on his Twitter that he bought a bunch of crypto punks at the same time, right?
Yep.
Gary pulled us in that call.
Yep.
So have you ever told that story?
No.
Gary V, it's like fucking 11 p.m. just out of nowhere, just calls me and he's like, yo, I got like 30 people to call, hop in. I'm like, I don't care. He's like, it'll be the best decision of your life. Just get in. I was like, okay. Yeah. And so I just joined the call. And I just see like Logan and I don't even know these other people. I don't want to put them on blast.
Every heavy hitter you can imagine who's worth $1 billion was on this one call. And Gary V is in the little corner, the little square. He's going, CryptoPunks. It's going to be huge. It's going to be the next Facebook. All of us were like, okay,
everyone's
Gary.
Judging. I'm texting Logan and I'm like, Gary lost his mind.
Yeah. Bro, all of us were like, yo, Gary's nuts. Yo, Gary was right again.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
We got to keep the story going. So there's like all these like very successful people in this call. And Gary's just like, everyone shut the fuck up. Here's what you're going to do and you're going to do it right now. You're all going to buy a bunch of CryptoPunks. And we're all just like, he's like, who here owns one? And like one guy raised his hand, and it's because Gary bullied him into buying it the day before. And we're all just like, are you sure, Gary? And we're asking questions, and he's like, just buy it. I was just so pulled by his like conviction that I bought a bunch.
Wait.
Yeah, I bought quite a few.
How many?
I don't want to say, but I bought multiple ones. Yeah.
Well, bro, are you in double digits, punks?
Just shy.
Oh, okay.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool,
yeah.
Cool, cool.
So
Yo, if you had-
all right, well,
imagine he just said 60.
no.
Three zombies.
I bought like 8 of them, and they did pretty good.
And any zingers? Any like real special
yeah,
ones?
I had some that like whatever 20-30x.
What's a
We bought a lot with like the cigarettes because I thought that was an interesting attribute, and those did pretty well.
What's another characteristic? Like, what's your rarest characteristic, Punk?
Well, I've already sold quite a few of them, so I don't.
What?
Dude,
he's on to the next thing.
I bought a bunch of, so then I rolled the money into V Friends because Gary, same thing, called me. He's like, V Friends. I was like, I don't fucking know, but last time I made money, sure. And so I basically sold them all and moved the money into V Friends.
Can I ask you guys a question? When Gary does that call with all these billionaires, and 8 months or a year later, everybody's like, Gary was right again.
Yeah.
Is it possible that he's right because of the call? Do you know what I'm saying?
I think about that a
like,
lot.
dude, he has all these
I think about
billionaire
that a
market
lot.
makers in the thing.
think about
He
that a
makes
lot.
the call, makes the market. By the way, you look around at all the Punk owners a year later, and you're like, damn, it's all the same motherfuckers that were on the call.
No, because bro, there's 10,000 punks, and there's only like 30 of us on the call. We can only own and do so much. There's still an entire market that's gonna happen regardless.
I can tell you, I don't think what, because that was all bad.
I mean, make no mistake, like having such influential people involved in projects, it can't hurt the ability for the project to
but like,
work. You know what I'm saying?
95% of those people didn't even mention it. You know what I mean? Like, I've never talked about it publicly.
Right.
You into like NFTs in general, or any other projects that you're excited about?
I mean, I'm mostly a Bitcoin holder, but you know, just it's fun. I literally just like once a month, I'm like, Gary, what NFT should I buy? And then I just buy what he tells me.
So Gary called me, and I'm a collector at heart, which is like why I like the space.
Oh, yeah.
I like just like
The Pokemon guy's a collector.
Exactly.
Who saw that coming?
Exactly, dude. And Gary called me, and we have these talks. Like we talk probably every other day at least.
Yeah.
And he called me like a month ago. He's like, Logan, I promise you, like, I know you. You're a smart kid. If you play this right, like I know you can, like you do with Pokemon, the NFT industry, you can make $250 million. And I go,
how do you not like perk up?
how is this? But he's never wrong, right? So that's where I started.
Yeah.
And then, bro, the other day I got the idea.
Yeah.
And I want to run it by you, not now, off the podcast, but I'm pretty sure I had the most revolutionary, monumental piece of IP in my head, and I've been I can't sleep for the past like 2 days.
So like for making your own version of Punk?
No. Just a really special NFT project.
Logan Paul is suing me for CryptoZoo, only a year after he thanked me for it.
The next year, 2022, Jimmy and the gang got some more backlash, this time for burning down a house. And I don't know why they got backlash, because they've been destroying stuff the whole time, but some people were saying it's a bridge too far to actually burn it down. He usually just tears up the washing machine or the refrigerator and puts a new one, and this is burning the house down.
The house burned down all night until there was literally nothing left, including all the mannequins.
I guess this video was supposed to be entertaining. I don't think that he's ever trying to entertain. I think he's only ever trying to get as much engagement and clicks. And he says it. It's like a lot of people get accused of that. He says it.
Don't let no one call you out for being a money whore.
So yeah, I mean, it got clicks, it got engagement. Yeah, and then some people are starting to say, you know, my kid watches this. This is promoting reckless behaviors. Then last year, I mean, it starts hitting the fan for real. There's this Beast finger on the phone mobile game controversy where apparently you have to put your finger on the phone screen for however so much long. The longest person puts it on there. You know, here, I'll just let this one explain it.
MrBeast tweeted out that he had created an app with a simple premise. Hold your finger on the phone longer than anyone else and you win $25,000. Little did he know, this simple app would destroy his reputation twice.
Then during this podcast with Trisha Paytas, Rosanna Pansino, a popular YouTube baker, revealed that she was mistreated on the set of a MrBeast hide-and-seek competition game.
Oh, they edit me to look like I freeze on set and I can't act. And the same thing kind of I felt like maybe happened on MrBeast. Like that was weird too. So when he reached out for me to be on Creator Games, I was on 1, 2, and 3. The first 2 were digital because it was during COVID times.
Oh, wow.
Those 2 games, and I had a blast. I had so much fun. And then when I got invited to do the 3rd one, it was at the SoFi Stadium, so it was the first one in person.
Wow.
And we did like a major hide and seek and challenge game, and it was over 24 hours. We were up for, I think I was up over 30 hours straight.
Wow.
I didn't sleep.
Yeah, I think the challenge was around 24 24, but you wake up before you're there, so
Yeah.
you're up for longer.
Oh my God, straight?
Yeah, and I'm just confused what happened there. Again, I didn't get involved in any of the drama. I was nice to everyone, and they edited me out.
It felt like a boys' club there. That's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand that people don't want to hear that, especially if you're a MrBeast fan and you love him. You don't want to hear negative things about somebody that you really admire or look up to. The truth sometimes is not pleasant.
The thing that I didn't understand, and I'm still confused today, and it hurt my feelings, is like when MrBeast talks about these creator games and challenges, he said, it's all in good fun. Like, audience, don't take it too serious. All of the money that's won is donated. It's given away. So we can just have some fun with it. And I was like, yeah, that's really cool. And so when it aired, when the video came out, my friends were like, what happened?
Really? Because you weren't in it.
And people are saying he didn't edit you out because you're a girl. He edited you out because you're boring.
They had me get eliminated like somewhere in the middle, and I was really proud of myself because I'm not mean and competitive, I just go out there and do my best, and I actually beat other creators who are a lot of male creators who are super competitive. They're very talented, and they edited me out somewhere in the middle when really I was top 3.
Wait,
and
what?
in the
How?
edit, they have okay, top 3 is Larry and Logan Paul and Zach King. They weren't top 3. I beat Logan Paul.
What?
Like, if I were a tiny Rosanna Pansino, where would I hide? Boom!
No, there's comments he made to me on the elevator with Matt Pat that are just rude. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. In the state of California, you have to disclose when you're recording on a phone call because he's in another state. I don't know what the laws are.
Yeah.
And
Every
I don't want
state
to
is different.
Keeps pressuring me to get on the phone with him, and it's because he can say whatever he wants on the phone to me, lie to me, and then deny everything he said. It's a smart business tactic. He's a smart guy. He's a businessman.
Cynical, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I learned the hard way. I've been.
I would say that
And she made some other allegations as well.
For most of you have seen that there's been a lot of news coming out about MrBeast, Jimmy Donaldson, some of his employees, and his, in my opinion, terrible business practices, some of which I've seen honestly may be illegal.
Then in July last year, Jimmy ends up in a $100 million lawsuit litigation with the business that he had partnered with on the Beast Burger. Talking about the burgers are inedible and they're disgusting and something, trying to get out of the deal, talking about I made a young deal, I made a stupid young beast deal and all of this stuff. This lawsuit's where we end up finding out that Jimmy's mother is the one signing all his contracts. We got a whole section on that coming up, but just hold on. As a part of that, they end up suing him back for breach of contract and stuff. They did settle this out of court, but it did happen last year. Then at the end of last year, December 2023, CoffeeZilla revealed that MrBeast and other creators were working with a merch company called Misfits that CoffeeZilla alleged was a massive fraud scheme. Ryan Piacente, the man who was in charge of the company Misfits, was further accused of being a predator and accused of abusing employees in that way, if you know what I mean, S.A.
When Ryan asked a fan, can we get married? When she told him she was 16, he said, come back in 2 years, which would be when she was 18. But 1 year later, Ryan reached back out, saying this, quote, I retweeted your selfie. Do I get nudes? She replies, that's illegal. He says, quote, don't worry, I ain't no snitch.
2023 also brought some of Jimmy's past promises to the forefront when people started saying that he hadn't kept his word. In particular, it had to do with this time capsule to the moon pictures scandal. Back in 2021, Jimmy had tweeted, for $10, I'll put whatever picture you want on the moon.
For $10, you could send an image to the moon. Jimmy would then do a live stream for this moon capsule project. This live stream was to convince people to go on the website and to purchase a spot on the hard drive that would go to the moon for $10. There was even an exclusive moon capsule shirt. In fact, I even bought a space on the hard drive that would presumably go to the moon.
And then it's like shopmrbeast.com moon. Many people believed at the time that Jimmy was working with NASA.
No joke, for $10, I'll put whatever picture you want on the moon. Basically, NASA is putting a rover on the moon, and I managed to convince them to let me buy storage on their moon rover. Thank you, NASA. And instead of doing something dumb like putting a jar of my farts on the moon, I thought it'd be cool to make the universe's first digital time capsule, which is why you're here. Scroll down, hit buy now, and put whatever picture you want on the moon. And bam, you just put something on the moon.
Every single one of you that puts something on the moon will get a certificate of authenticity. So for decades to come, you can prove to people that you literally put something on the moon.
You can put a picture of your mom on the moon. You can put a picture of your dog on the moon. Even your mom and Elon Musk riding your dog on the moon. Assuming it's legal, you can put anything you want on the moon.
People thought he was working with NASA. He was not working with NASA, apparently.
When I'm editing, I realized it said later this year, NASA's putting a rover on the moon. And if we look over here, there is no rover that landed on the moon from 2019 to 2022 by the United States. And there isn't even a planned rover by the US to land on the moon until 2024. So now I'm pretty sus of MrBeast. Huh? Did you scam us? What?
So 2 years later, 2023, the pictures had still not blasted off into space, and the fans were starting to speculate on Reddit what was going on with their pictures. By 2024, articles were coming out to explain the issues with MrBeast's first ever time capsule, and the people on Reddit have finally come to the conclusion that they must have been scammed by MrBeast. Obviously, Astrobiotic used Jimmy's fame and subscriber base to fundraise for this Go to the Moon project, but the mission never happened. So where's all that money? There's a lot of people. He can sell 50,000 merch items in a stream. Okay.
Just to keep things fun and interesting, as if putting a photo on the moon isn't interesting enough. Someone who puts a photo on the moon, or if you buy the bundle, whatever, and the next 30 minutes, we'll just fly you down to be in a video.
3 years later, the spaceship finally launched, carrying beautiful pictures of deceased loved ones to the moon, where they would be immortalized. It fucking exploded.
A formal investigation was launched earlier into one of Astrobiotic's failed missions.
The task order for Astrobiotic's payload delivery was valued at $108 million. The NASA instruments on board were valued at an additional $9 million. The Peregrine spacecraft was not only transporting the DNA of famous former US presidents like John F. Kennedy, but also the remains of notable figures from Star Trek, including Gene Roddenberry, the creator, along with his son and wife.
With an update sent out through Twitter on Wednesday morning, Pittsburgh-based Astrobiotics has confirmed that the Peregrine mission that they were spearheading for NASA will not make it to the moon.
But I learned in this article that Astrobiotic is a third-party contractor that does make and manufacture things including spacecraft for NASA. So I honestly don't even really blame people for assuming that this mission could have been associated in some way with NASA. There's also a history of NASA partnering with YouTubers, including Jimmy's buddy Mark Rober, like I said, and Mark Rober's friend, Lance Bass. Also that year, Ava Chris would come out as transgender. Let's just say that announcement left the internet entirely divided.
Oh, the way I would not let my dog lick me until he brushed his teeth. Oh.
Take a moment on that. Like, how does that feel, publicly saying in front of cameras that you are a woman?
For the longest time, to even say it to some of the closest friends, it would make me my hands shake.
Probably the most disgusting, really truly in my opinion, I mean you should take your pick, but the most disgusting, alarming, shocking, horrifying allegations of any type to date would come August 2023. So the way I found out about it is Turkey Tom, but I'm sure a lot of people were talking about it before that. Turkey Tom, he would post this video. Oh my God. I really, y'all, it's a landmine here. I gotta be very careful about what I say. Okay, use your imaginations on some of this. I've worked so hard on this video. If it gets demonetized, I'll be upset. They're gonna have to look it up themselves. Don't look this up unless it's very yes, that. Okay, all right. This video comes out August 2023 called The Giggly Boon Clown Files. And y'all, I literally, even if I was allowed to say it, I probably couldn't even bring myself to. But the TLDR is that some screenshots leaked last year focusing on a Twitter user named Giggly Boon Clown. And this account was involved in extremely disturbing and explicit content, including fetish content about literally illegal and unlawful acts, racial hatred, and self-degradation. Giggly was known for creating and sharing highly explicit art and engaging in degenerate behaviors online. And these behaviors primarily involved children, a familiar theme that we've now already come across. The Giggly Goon had a huge following influencing others to participate in a variety of disturbing actions. This clown built up a community that was deeply involved in sharing explicit content and luring others into a life of depravity, including those who had not yet had birthday celebrations yet having of 18 years, if you know what I mean. Giggly's real identity gets revealed, and this leads to community tensions and account takeovers and further exposures of illegal activities, more allegations, including grooming of children and the distribution of explicit content. Specifically, you should know that a primary goal of this individual organization was to make children become addicted to a certain type of content. It was something that they had as a primary goal, to influence children to develop an addiction. That is a primary goal of this Giggly Goon tribe. All roads leads to clowns and Lord Cornberry, amen Jesus. Anyway, here's a picture of Ava with the Giggly Goon clown. Look at that! Y'all, there's no way to describe to you the level of depravity and disgusting. I mean, it's like stuff, I can't even label the category of stuff it was. And it was the literal definition of explicit. It was laid out, periods and punctuation marks. It was very clear it was criminal activities going on in this group. I'm not known to listen till proven guilty. All right. But innocent till proven guilty. But Ava Chris looks very thick as thieves with this one right here. All right. And that one right there in the middle is the one that was doing all that. So I could end the video there. Isn't that nasty? Isn't that enough? Anyway, so yeah, that was back in August 2023. So people were already starting to question this group, at least the people around the MrBeast crew. I mean, Ava Chris is the first person that ever was making these videos with Jimmy that still was around at that point. Like, it's the founding member. But a lot of people were like, no, this is transphobia. This is transphobia. Don't criticize Ava. We don't even know if Ava Chris knew and all of this stuff. If you ask ChatGPT today, they will still say that the allegations of anybody around and surrounding the Giggly Goon clown is false. Anyway, moving into 2024, more criticism against MrBeast and his crew mounted whenever he did this 4th of July stunt with Kai Cenat, where they built a fake set that looked exactly like the room that he usually streams in. I mean, there were some minor differences. They blew it up, and it did look dangerous and destructive. I don't know why they were doing that. I think it was stupid. Anyway, that same year, this year, it would also be discovered that a former MrBeast employee, Charles Robert Jefferson, he was a manager for the company early on. He was a known registered you-know-what offender. Yep. And back in 2010, he had pled guilty, admitting under penalty of perjury to heinous acts against an 11-year-old child. He did not serve any jail time, but he did admit to the crime. Jake the Viking, the convicted criminal's brother-in-law, who also worked for MrBeast, came out online to defend him. But he did say that Jimmy and his mom, Sue, both knew about the conviction and the registry, and they decided to hire Charles Robert Jefferson anyway. That's the whole Jimmy knew situation, which we'll get more into, but fans and critics alike would begin to question how someone with such a background could have been employed with MrBeast, by MrBeast, why there wasn't a screening mechanism, why would they hire him? Then there's the Beast Games controversy, where they're saying yet again more allegations of unsafe working conditions. This is all mounting up this year. Contestants are passing out. They don't have their sanitary hygiene products. They got their drawers locked up in the lockers, and I mean, all kind of things. We'll put some clips, but that's all happening at the same time.
Saying that he is holding on, or his team is holding on to contestants' underwear.
And the most severe allegations related to the contestants' health and safety, because they're apparently not giving them their prescriptions and their insulins and their things they need to, I don't know, like go on and survive and stuff.
But like not having clean underwear is like really shitty. And apparently, according to this person, contestants were instructed to supply the production staff with a Ziploc bag containing 5 days worth of undergarments. And similarly with the meds, they were like, you're gonna get this when you need it, right? But several contestants said they had waited hours or even days to receive clean underwear. So it's like you're at a MrBeast event, right? You're not being fed properly. You're not getting your meds on time, and on top of that, you're wearing like shitty skid mark underwear, you know? Like that is truly poop maxing.
But just to let y'all know, the Beast and Amazon crew have denied these accusations. These weren't the only complaints of the sort. This person on Reddit alleged that MrBeast left a huge mess on a beach in North Carolina campsite after he used it for a video for free without paying any money. And then someone actually reached out to that camp and said, is this true? Look, there's a rumor on Reddit. And the camp didn't really confirm it or deny it. They were kind of like, oh, we're going to keep it quiet, basically. Oh, we'll give him grace.
Part one, I had seen this Reddit post titled Mr. Beast Leaving Trash Behind and Debris at Film Site in Aden, North Carolina. Apparently he left a large boat in a pond as well as debris around the film site in the bottom of the pond weeks and weeks after the agreed time frame. This actually rendered it unsafe for campers and almost delayed the camp's opening date multiple times due to not being able to get in contact with Mr. Beast to get the stuff cleaned up out of the area. So I actually know that this is from a Mr. Beast video called Protect the Yacht, Keep It, where at the end of that video he actually says,
And if you're wondering, yes, we did ensure the lake was completely cleaned up after this video. For the love of God, subscribe so we can pass T-Series.
And then, yeah, there's this other guy who went back to an island that they had done a shoot on, and it was a mess over there too. So I don't know. It kind of does look like
everything there. It just.
And Jimmy also faced criticism over his new candy bar company, Feastables. First of all, it's literally candy bars with crappy sugar ingredients, but he tried to pass it off as some type of health food at first. Then he named one of the ones with the nuts in it, D's Nuts, which is a genitals joke. Let's call it what it is. And he's selling candy to children, calling it D's Nut. Do you want to buy Jimmy's D's Nuts and your 10-year-old boy? Like, this is what they named the candy bar. Okay, obviously huge problem for two reasons. First reason, the one I just mentioned. Second of all, there's already a company called D's Nuts, and D sued for copyright infringement. So he changed the name on the D's Nuts ones, but I mean, yeah, I think that's for the best. And then another major backlash he faced related to the Feastables fiasco was that he had a literal slot machine game, which we mentioned earlier on the candy bar website, that children could spin the wheel and hope to win a prize.
So I am absolutely pigging out on Feastables, and I'm trying to do this. Mr. Beast is teaching us gambling? Minus points because there's no cool music. Anyway, let's gamble.
Now come to find out, you couldn't actually win a prize from spinning that wheel. You were just getting them primed. You're just getting them primed to play, to know how the slot machine works. Because people were getting 3 Lamborghinis in a row and not winning a Lamborghini. It was like, oh no, you have to actually win in a different way or something. So this is the game where, what's his name, Dogpack Dawson?
YouTuber diabetes lottery ticket.
He claims, this is hearsay, but he claims he was talking to a manager when he worked there and he said, I think this candy bar company is like 70% candy and 30% child gambling. And according to this former employee, the manager says to him at MrBeastStudios.com, it's the other way around. It's 70% a child lottery, 30% candy, 10% copyright infringement. I don't know.
But I swear to God, I said to somebody at the company, I feel like Feastables is 70% a chocolate company and 30% a lottery targeting children. And this higher up person at MrBeast said it was probably closer to the other way around and was laughing about it. Like 70% a lottery, 30% a chocolate company.
People were mad about the gambling. They were. Independent and apart from all this other stuff going on, they were mad about it. They're like, what is this? There's gambling addiction experts online making commentary about how the slot machine and the colors.
Mark Rober has talked about this common deceptive casino tactic before.
You recall from the carnival scam video, the most lucrative games for the carnival owner are those where people overestimate their chances of winning. That is exactly what happens in this game, thinking you were so close to getting a jackpot, when in reality, you weren't close at all. In gambling psychology, this is known as the near miss effect, and people will spend much more money to try and win because they think they can just do it on the next one.
Yeah, also the game didn't work. On top of all of that, Jimmy was also getting a little bit called out for stealing employees from some of his tried and true YouTube friends.
Carl used to work for me. Now he works for my brother, Mr. Beast.
We got Laser Beam over here saying Mr. Beast stole the one good employee he has ever hired in his whole life.
I talked to Jimmy about it, and just the amount of people he has doing everything. I'm like, fuck.
He is the king.
I did have a good employee, and he stole him.
Same, he stole Hayden. He stole Hayden.
To be fair, he rings you up and goes, so, how's that guy doing? Is he doing good work? What's he doing?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm really looking for someone. Like, I can't deny the opportunity of working for Jimmy, bro. It's like,
who did he steal?
Just one of the guys that helps run his gaming channel.
I'm gonna put Hayden on blast for a second here.
Mr. Beast can't even let his friend have the one person they ever hired. And he even says in that same interview, Jimmy's the reason he ever hired anybody in the first place, trying to outsource stuff. Then he just poached him off of him. Then Logan Paul comes in and says,
Mr. Beast also stole my #1 editor, my guy.
Jimmy stole my favorite editor, the best editor on YouTube. I'm not gonna hold it against him. He don't know about Ethan.
He's the guy as well.
He's the guy. He's
arguably like the best editor on YouTube.
Is it like that crazy that took this long? What is it?
That's a good question. Yeah, can you answer that? I'm gonna give a direct message to my editor Hayden. If you could send me a message and tell me what's taking so long. I don't know. I wish I.
Yeah.
We have one
So
editor,
it's just
not
on him?
five. Yeah, yeah.
But it seems like the stress was starting to actually really get to Jimmy. We see this in a few places. One, here on the Time Magazine article, they say that, quote, recently people around Jimmy have sought to protect him from caving under the workload. He now has a personal chef and a trainer. Time Magazine also reported during that time that Jimmy didn't actually have any access or control over his own bank accounts. His mom, Susan, was in charge of all of that. So I have to ask, who hired the trainer and the personal, all that stuff, you know what I mean? I just feel like Susan's a little enmeshed by this point. Anyway, at the end of the year, last year, Jimmy's mental health was notably deteriorated, as can be also seen in the Buried Alive challenge. Despite this being a repeat challenge that he had already performed an iteration of before on his channel, in the 2023 version, Jimmy can be seen openly weeping several times on camera. And he doesn't even know why. He's like, I don't know why I'm crying. At one point on day 5, he admits that he's depressed while trying to keep an entertaining smile for the audience. He says he's just trying to not look depressed. Earlier this year, he partnered with what appeared to be a regular, charity that kind of distributes funds to different things, but it actually is literally the Mormon Church, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, which made people start asking, why? What? Is he a Mormon? Because last I checked, he went to Greenville Christian Academy, the evangelical Christian school. His mom's writing all up and down in her 2019 autobiographical book about how much she loves the Lord and Jesus and all this. And people are like, well, how could he be a Mormon if he's a that? And it's like, I don't know if y'all know this or not. The Mormons name their church the Church of Jesus Christ, Latter-day Saints. It's not an impossibility that somebody could be, saying Jesus about something and still be talking about not evangelical version of the religion. Then Jimmy had this I follow the doctrines of Jesus Christ banner on top of his YouTube page at some point. It's down now, and Logan Paul, or one of the Pauls, gave him a hard time about it.
No, I'm not.
What about that Jesus?
And he was like, "Where's your Jesus Christ?"
You just can't make eye contact, dude, with any girls.
Ever.
Just don't do it.
Just keep a Bible in between us. Don't get near me.
A Bible. Are you saving yourself for marriage?
Are you?
No,
Nice.
absolutely.
I love this.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
What about
I'm not religious. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are you saving yourself for marriage?
I'm not religious.
At all?
No, I'm not.
What about that Jesus?
No.
And it's like, okay, Satan, I mean, I don't know. He's notably taken down the Jesus Christ thing. And he's done interviews. Jimmy has done interviews. And he said, I believe in a God. It's not like I'm an atheist. But he said, I just don't know which one.
He's saying no.
Yeah, like,
Are you atheist?
You just asked the same question different ways. The answer's the same.
Atheist or agnostic?
Agnostic. Like, I mean, the universe is complex, and like, it's hard to believe someone didn't do it, but like, I don't know. There's a lot. It's
You're open-minded. Huh?
Yeah.
So you believe in a creator or some sort of being.
But it's
a
just like
deity,
hard
perhaps.
to tell. I mean, there's a lot out there,
He's agnostic, so he doesn't have proof to push him in either direction or another.
So, but that was one of the controversies, that the biggest YouTuber, like on the planet ever in the history, is partnering with any religious organization, despite having international following and stuff like that. And then in particular, this one, because they've been in the news themselves for, give you one guess. Now, I'm not saying it's every Mormon. I never would say that. But this is top level people at the charity, partnering with people. They're the ones that were covering up for their So people are asking, why? Why is he partnering with this religion? And I'm not going to say that I found the answer. I'm not going to say we found it, but we did find something that has a lot of interesting connections having to do with Harker's Island. MrBeast did a video there. There's this water tower in the back, which led Ethan to be able to find exactly where that thing is. And then it's on this island where they speak this certain language. There's been Mormons there since I'm just letting him explain it to you.
All right, so the other day I was definitely not minding my own business on the internet. And I wanted to know who Chris Tyson was, who are his family members, like who is his parents, like where did he come from, what made him this way, what is the fascination. So anyways, I found this website, a Wikipedia draft somebody made, which it looks like somebody doesn't want this to get made. It has a bunch of information here, but down here, I mean, this is weird. Wait. Yeah, anyways, down here it shows his family members, and so I saw Amy Tyson first, so I said, let me search Amy Tyson. So then I go on Google and I found this real estate listing website. So it looks like she is in real estate. She's a real estate agent. This is one of the addresses that was on one of the crawler websites, 9 Harker's Island, North Carolina. Here we have this video. So it was like the next day I was looking at MrBeast videos, and I think this one's pretty recent. In this $1 video, he says he's buying a broken down shed for $1, which I don't think that's a house. And then there in the background, you can see that's the water tower. And then I noticed this when I was Googling Harper's Island, you can see that there is a water tower and it looks very familiar. So I typed in the address and it brought me all the way down here to this building, which Amy Tyson owned and renovated this deck in 2015. And lo and behold, right next door, well, 2 houses down, is this Church of Latter-day Saints temple. You can see right there. Here we go. We'll go around the corner. Let's see. There's the Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And we keep going and we see that wonderful water tower. And so let's go back to our notes here. And it's just uncanny. I think that might be the same water tower. So then I find out, and this AI thing is wrong, it's actually 1889. But so in 1889, about 360 of Harker's Island residents were Mormons, or Church of Jesus of Latter-day Saints. So they were 6th or 7th generation Mormons. And then on the Mormon fandom page, it looks like the Greenville, North Carolina stake, and all of this is close by to where we got, you know, Delaware is from this area. We got Ava Chris Tyson. They're all from this area. So it just is interesting to me. Kept looking. I mean, there's a lot more Tysons in the area. It seems like it's a big family, very extended. They're all real estate agents. So do with that what you will.
So despite all those allegations, those troubles in paradise, the red flags, the controversies that we did discuss prior to right now, nothing ever really stuck. He was like the, what do you call it, the rubber man or whatever. This stuff didn't stick. Every time somebody would try to expose MrBeast and crew for something, everyone would kind of just blow it off, say they were being transphobic, or that MrBeast just does so much good that even if he's doing a little shenanigan here and there, he's far outweighing any bad that he could possibly be doing. Like, for example, in 2023 alone, people were so unbothered by this controversy that he gained 99 million subscribers within that 1 year. I think one day that year he gained 2 million on a day. But in the summer of 2024, the full weight of nearly a decade of online shenanigans would finally prove enough to shake the foundations of the Beast empire in a 1-2 punch that would go down in YouTube commentary history. Hello everybody, it's me again. I just wanted to let y'all know that the 40-minute video you just watched is just one part of an hour and 47-minute long full documentary that I did on MrBeast called MrBeast the Movie. This is just one section. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to go check out MrBeast the Movie in full and see all the other sections I worked on too. Love you, minute. Okay, bye.
BJ investigate, she gonna find the truth. She gonna crack the case here. It's not a lie when it's paperwork. She will expose the truth. Daily updates for you. Better subscribe like I knew you would. We gotta stand for what's right. We gotta do for the good, yeah. I don't know what y'all have heard. That surprise witness got the word. We don't believe in Scientology. I do not need your mind control on me. We don't need your conservative shifts, no. We doing right, what's right for the kids. Whoa.
Y'all cannot control me. I control my own mind. You could've controlled me then. Still not in this lifetime. Can he send us down the pink angel from the heavens of truth? You don't want to debate with BJ. Studying law is what she do.